All right, thanks, President Goodnow, and yeah, thanks so much, Mr. Jackson and everybody for diving deep on this. I'm glad to see we're revisiting it. I've talked to a lot of people about this before, and I've always kind of say this is not a black and white thing to turn on and off, but a knob that we can absolutely tune to get the best outcome that we want. So I'm glad we're revisiting it. And honestly, I think it's something that should be revisited every few years as market conditions develop and our city changes. We go through my list of questions. Thanks to all the excellent council member questions. Some have already been answered, but let me see what I can revisit here. I think just to start to confirm, so the current 10 projects that have been completed and under development, are any of those luxury condos by chance? It sounds like by definition that couldn't be the case, but Mr. Jackson?
Yeah, there are no condo projects.
Okay, so no condos or luxury condos have taken advantage of the 8-year exemption so far. Okay, thanks for clarifying that. Back to the 60% question. So I too would like to know what percentage of Bremerton's population would qualify with that 60% threshold. Obviously, if the Bremerton median income is 70% of the county, and we're going off 60% of the county, by definition, it'll be less than half of Bremerton's population. But that I think would be good to visualize, because I'm wondering, I don't know if you set 60% as a round number, or I'm just kind of curious if there's any rationale for 60% versus 50 or 70.
So when you take that moderate income level down to 60, excuse me, from 80% to 60%, then it's more in line with if you take that 80% of the census number, which is like $52,000, and you drop that down to what low income would be, then you start you approaching more of where we're proposing the MSA number should be. So we drop that census number down. When you drop the census number down to what would be defined as an 80% low income, you get more in the range of 60%. I'm sorry if this isn't coming across very well.
It's all good. I think let me just I just want to make sure we're setting that number and knowing what effect it'll have. For example, we could say 10%, right? That incentive would be only open to the very lowest income people of the city. But I imagine that would have an effect where the developers may not take advantage of it because they're not getting enough rent to justify, constructing the building. So there is a trade-off there, correct, of how low we set that to make sure we have low income housing versus what the developer may be willing to do in order to build the building and get their money back, make a profit on it.
And that's what the trade-off is supposed to be, providing 80% at market rate and 20% as affordable, and that the 60% is more in line with what's affordable for Bremerton residents than it is for the remainder of Kitsap County.
Okay, I think it'll be good to still just kind of look at that number and the number of Bremerton residents. It'd be interesting to see the actual distribution of income of Bremerton residents, then we could kind of see where the line is. Yeah, going back to making sure outside stakeholders are involved. I independently contacted KCAR and some other groups just to make sure they're aware, and I know KCAR said that they told me they weren't. So it might be good to make sure that we get a response from them, even if they have no comment, that we're making sure that we're getting a comment on this again, because I just think it's important to make sure we get this right and we get everybody weighing in. And I do go back to, I think it's important to really nail down how much less market rate we're expected to get if we get rid of that 8-year exemption. It seems really nebulous right now, and so that might also be worth explicitly asking the developers of these projects if they have any future projects on the books, and if we got rid of the 8-year, are there any projects we're going to miss out on because of that? And I'll pause there, Mr. Jackson, just to confirm, we don't really know that yet, right? We don't know how many won't be built because of the removal?
Yeah, it's not really a number that we could find out. I'd be happy to do some more outreach. But I think at the direction of the project is more on which way the council wants to take it, as far as, do you want to provide additional housing or affordable housing? And that's really the onus behind it. So I'm happy to look into getting some more specific feedback for you.
Sounds good. I'll just finish there of, yeah, I absolutely want to make sure we have more low-income housing in this, in the city set aside for people who need it. But similar with Councilmember Dennehy's concerns, I want to make sure that we do this carefully, and it's not going to stop the production of all other types of housing across the city, which would result in rents then rising across the board. So I just want to make sure we do this in a very thoughtful manner. I'll stop there. Thanks so much.